Let me make sure I get my timer. Hi, folks. Nick Talkert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. Wow, I am sorry I'm running a couple minutes late. There was a bit of parental duty that had to be done. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by The Simple Sword, The Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon. It's also brought to you by, sorry, folks, Hybrids, The Sons of God, and my amazing Patreon folks. So, let's just pop, and get going. Thank you to 2 viewers, 3 likes. I am truly blessed by all of you. Shout out to Cindy Kep, who's lurking like a ninja. Woo! Sorry. Some days start smooth. Some days you go to a doctor's visit and you lose a couple pints and you realize, hey, it's gonna be an interesting night. Hi, Foxy. Hi, Steve. Hi, Belated Thesis. Wow. Let's get on topic for a bit. We are going to be getting into another arc. Uh yes, actually, Steve, what happened was the update that came through did not like the 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 way it opened, so it tried to reconfigure everything again to make me use Microsoft exclusive goodies. And folks who know me know I'm all about my Chrome. So I had a little bit of no, I want that back. Thank you very much. And we got things hopping and popping. So I'm really glad you could make it. This is going to be an interesting one, folks. First off, I got 2 things in the mail. I will be opening them because I've ordered a significant amount of stuff fairly recently. And basically, this is either. Oh, no. Chrome has saved my bacon. What I'm certainly not going to use Edge or whatever. I'll switch to a Chromebook before I do that. Because, don't give me that Mojave crap. I remember the Vista virus, but I got a book. Now, I've ordered a couple things that are related to the channel and one thing that isn't. So I'm just going to pop this open. I've redacted it already, I hope. Yeah, I redacted it. So, note, use DuckGo browser. Okay, well, I'll look into it. Oh, no, okay. On the downside, this is... Ooh, thank you, Thesis. I have something else coming. This is not actually guild material. I probably shouldn't open it, but I should show you. It's a reference on teaching basic physics because I was a liberal arts major because they like to force higher level math, and apparently undiagnosed dyslexia can mess up your math. So while I love hard science, they didn't want to teach me hard science. So in my infinite spare time, he laughs, I'm refreshing my background in physics. It has nothing to do with one of my major life goals after becoming Bert from Mary Poppins is being, Angus MacGyver. This should surprise absolutely no one. And while I'm very excited to dig into that, it has nothing to do. Hey, Luke! Okay, Death Metal Hero is Luke. He has a name. It's Italian. My speech impediment, I just tried to say it, and I felt my tongue try to cut itself on a tooth. So, yeah, I'm great. Great to see you, Luke. Yeah, we're talking swords and shenanigans, or we will be if I could ever get the ball rolling tonight. But yeah, follow us, guys, on Red Valkyrie Presents. I do a 4-hour, roughly, ongoing RPG that is strayed farther and farther from the book. That I live up to the long-time players know the shenanigans I will pull in a game, and you give me a stream. Alietta, see, I thought so. Thank you. Because I actually took Latin, so my Latin brain was clashing with my English brain, which every once in a while resurrects the Japanese brain. It gets bad. And yeah, so the reason I really planned was I got a box this long. Now, when a swordmaster gets a box that's this long, he knows it's something related to. I'm glad you're having fun. The nice thing about what I do is when people go, okay, I want to have this fight. What happens? I know what happens because, like, I've actually sword fought with that crap. Oh, I love you too, Johnny. Johnny Cage, folks, is one of the commenters get in on the game, and most of them end up villains if we go. Yep. Well, it might not be. We may be chasing something very different. Now, Steve's laughing because in Steve-verse, boxes this long are usually much heavier and have more freedom. As suspected, this is a long box, and it comes with... Yep, guys, look! My paper came in! Finally, the big sheet of brown paper I was looking for. Guys, I'm so happy I can use this to draft out armor designs and cut out to make patterns. But getting big pieces of paper is kind of challenging, you know. So let's see what's up. There's something else in the box. Yes, I was asked by a fan. not even close, Johnny. To review something. So I ordered one. And what? Oh, those papers are great for calligraphy or drawing with a white marker. What I ordered was this. The Shrod Priscilla. Isn't this a nice little knife? Steve, look, I finally got a little knife. Steve Ice makes fun of me because I tend to favor knives that are... this is a knife. I can knife with this. This carries everywhere, and it did actually really shock the nurse who's my doctor, because it was tucked in my shirt and she didn't expect a neck knife. But anyway, let's get this bad boy open, and we'll talk about why. Nick, why did you order this? Well, I got messaged by one of my viewers asking me expressly to review a, as he put it, elf sheddy. Now, sometimes I get people who... Knife. It's a verb. It's an adjective. It's a noun. Hold on. Let me put this away for just a second. Because no, I'm not getting... Where? Did my... Did my shank get lost? Oh, go! My prop shank got lost. Darn it. Well, it's around here somewhere. So when I'm not looking for it, my to shank, it's a verb, will undoubtedly come out. But I didn't find skissers. God. Not getting political, but there are some people I know who would definitely identify as knife. Like, I can see them identifying. Oh, that I can find easily. And Steve, have you seen the live steel one yet? The Hello Rabbit is a live steel one. Now, this is a Shrod 22-inch overall, 19.8 ounce, powder coated, 3CR13 stainless steel blade, TPE handle, thermoplastic sheath with shoulder carry strap. Johnny identifies as lumberjack tree cutting rapier. You know what? Y'all, Johnny messaged me through Twitter, because I checked that, and remind me that you identify as a lumberjack's tree chopping rapier. That might be important later. Anyway, as you know, getting any of these, like, the real evil in this world is these boxes. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, folks, because there's been some shenaniganry in our universe, and some stuff is coming up that will really, really get a few friends of mine incredibly excited about. Oh, that's a beverage. That's a beverage. Nope. That's why I laminate my backup books. Anyhow, Hey, yeah, so you guys get to see me bumble. I'm bubbling today. This is what you call, this is what happens when I can't find my thing. That's sexy, Thesis. But, well, I can multitask. Coming out soon, they are putting the Wheel of Time series, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, to a television series. Now, this is pretty exciting because that means another high fantasy sword fight series. This is going to be great because it's going to give me all manner of content to talk about real soon if I watch it, or if I don't. It may end up like Game of Thrones, where the only thing of Game of Thrones I've seen are the Bob Ross, lost his name, but he speaks to me, Swordmaster memes, and a couple of his scenes, because there were questions of, am I related to Sergio or whatever his name is? That and a breakdown of Arya Stark's needle, which made me way too happy because that actually it doesn't shock anyone that needle fits my personal measurements almost perfectly. Yeah. Woo! Woo! We nearly got to see blood on the screen, folks. Ah, oh. I'll worry about the sheath later. I'm surprised. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, and we got Frog G. Hi. This is live steel. Let's see. Did it ship sharp? It shipped what I would call functionally sharp. This is actually quite nice. I'm very particular. I haven't bought myself a new sword that is live steel. Caution for user bystanders. This is sharp. It can hurt you. It's a freaking machete. Yes, it can hurt you. So, while we're going over this, I'm rather happy because one, I've been needing to acquire something a little different. I've been looking for uh something that fits my hand size. Now this is very oddly elegant. The grip is very positive. It's not excessively large, and it has this distinct shape, which is incredibly orthopedic. I mean, this is nice. I can hurt things with something like this. The weight and the balance, of course, this is a chopper, so the balance. That I can't tell you how nice the powder cut. Look at that point of balance. It's got about a 3-inch point of balance. Oh, right before the taper on the backside. Oh, this is oddly elegant. I calling this a machete seems like it's high 24 eyes. Seems like it's not fair. I really like this. This is considered a bolo knife, but it actually is. I've been looking for something. I've been looking for something. This is Happy Neck. Yes. I've been looking for something that quantitates as a short sword. Uh, would so it's this is that 16 to 20-inch range that's very nice to use indoors or in tighter place. It's aggressive. This this is actually remarkably aggressive. I got this for $30, right around there. I'll have to look. Somewhere between 20, 25, and $35 through Amazon. Um I got this because I've been asked to do a live steel review because Nick never does live steel reviews. But this is actually really it's heavier than you would expect it to be, which I find surprising. And it's aggressive. It's just yeah, it wants to chop things. This is a very uh very aggressive cutter, and it is the Shroud Priscilla. Um It has this lovely little guard, but I have to put this down right over my new physics book. Yeah, I'm a geek. Does that surprise anyone? Just checking. Yeah. Steve, you want to laugh? It's nearly a two-hander for me. I honestly, oh, okay, let me go there. Ooh, plastic death day is in my future. Awesome. Okay, hold on. I got a valid question I want to, and let me make sure. I have to turn on all chat because it tries to get rid of my live chat. So give me just a second, because doop 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 doop. Yep, knife. I got a couple comments that had fallen off, but I think no, we're not gonna lose the evil karambit. Okay, I'm a knife. Wow, you know what? Yes, this is this. This right here. That I have been known to explain that rapiers are called rapiers because they're weapons of non-consensual penetration. But this has this all over it. I really quite like it. And going all the way through. Awesome. Thank you so much. Get some sleep. I will see you later. Anybody who doesn't let me get, I lost some content. Cool. Just trying to get an idea of the size. I It is 22 inches overall with a 16-inch blade. Anyway, yeah, see, I can't forget about this blade anymore. But yeah, this is very disc-like. It's a little long, it's a little heavy for my preferences. Um I know if this started here and went straight out almost with that, narrow that cut, I would be in love with this, but then it's very opus like. It's a bolo knife. Um I also think this will fit in the make it into a trainer easily, but it's really reasonable. Now, putting this back down, Nick, you have a new knife and you have to put it out. Yeah. It came, oddly enough, with silica gel. No, obviously, don't eat the silica gel. It came with this handy dandy holster made out of some type of thermoplastic. Now, I've seen mixed reviews, but we'll see about that. I am sheathing this because that is the safest place for it for now. Oh, and it's got quick clips. So I assume that because there's all these happy rings, we've got some wear options on here. That's kind of cool. But now see, this is one of those great moments in life where they've added. Do they say how one goes about attaching this? Disclaimer, it's sharp and dangerous. Oh, I have a picture. Let me see. Okay, cool. It goes like it goes like it should. And these are swivels. It's just doesn't look like it fits quite as nice in practice as it does in picture, which I find interesting. See, let me see. Show you the picture I'm talking about. Y'all see? Yeah. That's going to be a little on the interesting side. Whoop. Nope. Wow. That's super interesting. Oh, yeah. Shipping oil is an absolute nightmare. But there we go. That one clicked there. Or at least tried to. Guys, this bothers me. As part of the review, I have to state unabashedly that this bothers me. I'm not sure I like this, the way the sheath is allegedly attaching. I mean, they didn't make the groove wide enough to fit the sheath. That's really interesting because if you look, the picture of it, look at that, is actually different than the whole setup. Okay, so that will definitely go into my review because it gave me this happy little. And what were they? Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. I might. No, that doesn't. Yes, a guy who just bought a physics book is having trouble figuring out how the stupid sheath on this allegedly goes. Well, you know what, folks? That's part of the fun of an unboxing review because it's like they literally changed the holes for this. I mean, that's just fascinating and not necessarily in a good way. And for those paying attention, I actually, in the process, messed up the clip here. So I may have to get all kinds of creative to make a rig for this. And part of the big benefit to me buying this like this was I was supposed to have this kind of problem. Well, my hands are spazzing. So, neat knife. The sheath has dubious problems. And I don't know how they expected this holster rig to work. So, we'll put that over there. We'll throw that aside. Let's see. Anyway, why am I excited? Hi, guys. Let's square off a little bit here. You guys comfortable? I want you to be comfortable. You know, you're in my house. One sec. Now, I wouldn't normally wear my cover in a house, but my head thing is on walkabout, so we're working around. Okay. Steve said going to wear it on your back, Shad. Aside from Pahu, Yancey Derringer's Native American associate, no. My back is where my backpack lives. You see, if you're actually going to go out on an adventure and carry any type of gear of size, it doesn't matter how many 3x5 pouches you put across your belt and try to look like a sexy Australian. You're not fitting a bedroll in it, let alone a cooking pot. I am young. I've seen the loadout, to borrow a term, of literally dozens of different military men for the centuries. And I'm not being, I'm not whitewashing or being anything weird. The majority of the soldiers were identified as male, so let's not get that. But they all had to carry a crap ton of stuff. There is not an infantryman alive in the universe who's not got some business of displeasure to his knees and back because he's got to carry all his fighting gear, all his other gear, and kit. Exactly. All right. I used to do some, believe it or not, before I got injured, I was in training to become a park ranger. I wanted to be a park ranger. I was training. Oh, God. Shad got points. He got points when he realized, hey, machetes are good. He can learn, but good Lord in heaven. Johnny, you got to give me a second. I can only do one rant at a time. So, Goose Frubba? I have no idea what Goose Frubba is. Anyway. And I love Shad. His content, even when I vehemently disagree with, I broadcast live every single Friday. And every single Friday, I get a call mid-broadcast. Okay. I am one with the universe is one with me. Now, as an adventurer, especially a scout or a ranger, yes, you have to travel light. Traveling light is good. Anybody who's done backpacking has traveled light. Oh, it's silly. Oh, okay, cool. But you still need to carry everything to handle your toiletries. So you at least need a shovel to dig a hole to poop in. You have to carry water. sorry. Love to carry a supply of water with these little pouches. You have to carry a bedroll because I want to see Shad armor up as an adventurer. I'm an adventurer. I'm a ranger. I'm going to scout ahead on my own. Cool. Go forth and scout with enough stuff to camp with medieval grade equipment. Now, I have seen, friends, some cunning come out. Now, see, Johnny Cage referenced Shad's super sexy look. With this sheath, I can carry a great sword on my back. Look how cool it is. I want to see that work in the rain and under stress. But, like I said, I love the man. I'm not disrespecting. I'm politely disagreeing with vehemence because I am passionate on the subject. Yep, 3-day kit is 70 pounds. My kits were lighter, but I also wasn't carrying firearms, and I didn't quite have a trauma kit with me. The equivalent of that, no, it's but that's why you have to study. And I'm a DM, okay? I'm a GM. I've been running games for 30 years. I'm an author. I've written fantasy stuff. Most of it is there is some stuff in the works to be published. I got contract work that blocked it up. But as Johnny can, I can run a campaign, and it's like there are two ways you can look at it. Yeah, in D&D, yeah, we're just going to skip over things like encumbrance and rations, and we're just going to have a good time. Right, you get out. Way I figure you have three levels of kit on a given day. You have a heavy long-term kit. This is what you're going to pack to go camping multiple days. You have a short kit. This is for either, a get home bag. This is the I'm going out for a couple days, etc. No, Steve, we're not going there. Right. And then there's what I call the EDC kit. The EDC kit is any meds you have to live. You at least want 24 hours. Perhaps more, sliding scale. Like I said, I have a lot of meds, but I usually have extra metformin on me. You don't go anywhere without a knife. This does not need to be a big knife because I'm not using this as a fighting knife. I'm using this as a tool. This is not a fighting hard. This is a different breed here. This I can work with for that. Once I fix this whole bizarre holstering, sheathing nightmare problem, I'm really not pleased by that. Anyway, I'll probably have to make paracord loops to get that to tack nicer. I have plans. Now, dear friends, you need, for me, I don't leave the house without that. Without fire, my lighter is not currently in my pocket because it ran out of butane during a project and I need to refill it. But I carry a flashlight, a knife. Oh, yeah, flashlight. Well, this is my gum. I bought this gum because in part, it's nice gum. But I also want this little box to fill up with useful things because my other box was a little too close to phone and wallet size. And usually a compass, I'm working on some different things. So light, fire, knife. Don't leave house without them. If you are someone like Steve or some of my other more freedom-oriented friends, you're going to usually include something that goes bang, and it's care and feeding. Gum is wonderful. I actually carry gum medicinally because it clears my sinuses, and I have used gum to MacGyver many a strange thing. Like I said, the reason I bought a book on physics is I want to be a better DM and I want to be a better MacGyver. Uh, so yeah, and that's something I want to point out because I got a neat conversation. It overlaps what we do. Don't be afraid to pursue learning at your own speed. Now, I will say I am proud that I have a degree. I earned my degree. It is a small and very wide degree. But woo! Woo! Oh God, Luke is putting a shock to Johnny's system yet again. Anyhow, and that's great. But if I'm going to survive, I think I'm going to bring something to boil water in and something to cook in, even if I'm planning to forage. Hey, foraging is awesome. I have books and I study up on that stuff too. It's almost like I like to study. I collect skills the way some people collect baseball cards. But thank you, Foxy. But and I'd rather understand the background than learn a trick, because if I learn the techniques, I can make up my own tricks on the go. But if you're going to, that kind of covers a lot of things. If you're going to do that, guys, you have to prepare. And it's like, if I'm going on an adventure, I have a whole list of things I'm not leaving the house without. Okay. So, like, if you take Nick, hi, I'm Nick, and I'm not DMing, it happens. I'm not GMing or storytelling, I'm not refereeing. I'm a go play, I'm running out of the shack. I'm on an adventure. I'm not just bringing my handkerchief, folks. I have a whole list of shit. And it's like, well, what if you're then we add or adjust stuff. But like the core list is always there. I've thought about this for a very long time. I've done simulations because what is a good role playing game if not at points with the right group, a tactical simulation to expand your mind? In the words of MHI, flexible minds, people. If you want to survive, if you want to go, if you want to know, you have to mentally grow. So that's how we're going to get the flow to achieve what we perceive, folks. So, going out with, I have lots of little pouches. You know what? I can't wait to see him, Frog G. I can't wait to see the dice that you're doing for everybody, because that's cool. I want a real life RV now. Yeah, you're not the only one, Steve. That was my plan from age 16, and everyone has undercut it because they were afraid I would ninja. Minds can be flexible, boats can fly through gates. Abso-fraggin-lutely. And don't worry, Johnny. I know it was a quiet game this week. And folks, if you're wondering, there are a whole bunch of new people in the chat. They're not Historical Fencing Guild regulars. Who are they? Well, I am working on a kind of initiative, all right? My Patreon folks know about it. It's what I call the Crossing the Streams initiative, where I take and encourage my gamers to talk to my Western and Eastern martial artists, because the creativity of the gamers can infect and encourage the people I know, like Steve, who's very multi-class a lot, to share what they know real world. A huge part of what got me, guys, this book right here, what's left of it, I need a new ring. This book got me into gaming. And it also, gaming further got me into, I want to be able to do what my player does. Now, we're not going to turn this into one of those 80s freaky tracks where D&D is screwing with your soul. That's a whole different ballpark. This is me not touching that. But I'm talking about skill-based. So this might shock you, given that I am part of this great gestalt that you can jack into of information. You can now learn how to do just about anything. You may or may not be certified. Hello, I will be getting to Dark Moon Miracle, aka Elric of Melbourne, aka a few other things, aka one of the most civil and just uplifting gentlemen I've had the pleasure to meet in what I do. Because I have an announcement talking about him, but I'll get into that. That being said, learning the skills that you can use. See, I grew up in the 80s and I watched MacGyver, I watched the A-Team, I watched The Pretender later. If improvisation and generalization is a great way to survive. This is why when I wrote The Simple Sword, I didn't just focus on one master, okay? The Simple Sword is not from a perspective of how to understand Gigante or Fiore or Agrippa or whoever. It's what I did. And what this book is and what I teach is a perspective, okay? Because if you look through a whole bunch of fencing masters, you take a big sample of them, and most people will argue about what they disagree about. Go on, get on, log into any major HEMA, ARMA group, and there will be people fanboying for their favorite sword masters and shaking their fists like, Silver said that that's not authentic sword play. You know, and you'll have Marzaron go, but I killed you from over here. It doesn't matter. They're all arguing about that. And I look at that and I go, okay, but between 60 and 80% of the content is all the same. So instead of focusing on what makes each master different and their unique tweak and secret thing, I'm going, wait a second, guys, I got an idea. If almost all the masters say something like parry out away from you, okay? So let me grab a stick-like object, maybe. Okay, I got a sword. Cool. You guys can hold this. Let me see. Will that work? No, that will block your screen. Well, I can. Oh, yeah, we'll get this to work yet. Okay, there we go. Now, you're stabbing me with this. And yeah, it's a big fat curved sword. We'll make it pointier so you can see better. But still, you're stabbing me. Right. Okay, cool. You guys have gotten a kill on me. Everybody gets the experience for one kill. You're welcome. That includes Johnny. It's nice for Johnny to be on the other side of a death. But, right. Okay. So, all the masters tell you parry out. Just about all of them say, yeah, you want to, because the logic is, if this is pointed here, right? You see where it is? Let me move the angle. Why you see where it's poking me? It makes a lot more sense for me to parry it out as the shot's coming in so that it misses me. I don't parry it the wider angle. Right. Why? Because there's more time for it to actually skewer me. And me getting skewered, contrary to the belief of certain Scadians, is bad. Oh, they will. Rest assured they will. I have absolute faith in my gamers. But so they all say that, right? They now, if they're all saying it, nobody's arguing about it, maybe that's something as a new student folks should know. And as somebody who's been in it a long time, maybe that's a fundamental truth, a fact of sword-based martial arts. It's a very simple one. I've discussed it at length, but that's for clarity. Maybe that's what you need to understand. So I started noticing that these things are all over the place. Even in like Chinese martial arts. You're going to see insane footwork in complex arts. But in the simple starter or the, hey, you've been constricted into the military, we're going to teach you 7 moves and then send you on your way, which I need a new copy of the 7-point style. That works. Now later, yeah, if you're fit and eager, you could do all kinds of fluid. You could get Bagua, you could get Wing Chun in here. You could get deliberate and beautiful. But that's advanced. And the thing about basic is basic works. Okay? This is why pump shotguns are still used by the military. This is why, it might not look like this anymore, but most armed forces still use pointy pieces of metal. That's because understanding the basics works. And we have philosophically lost an appreciation for the basics. Okay? There is this, ooh, take that and teach me the secret style of, I can't pronounce it. Whatever the style is. And it's like, or just get good, scrub. The more you work at understanding the basics, and the stronger that foundation is, the stronger your structure is. Tricks work once or twice in tourney, but they don't. Okay, exactly. The tricks work in tourney once, but you don't want to rely on trick styles. You build a technique and keep it strong. Okay? It's sort of like if you have a schedule throughout your day, which I suck at. But if you get yourself on a schedule, you get up at a time, you do what you do, you go to bed at a time, it all works consistently. You can get better at what you do. Ditto with swordplay. Now, Thesis has popped in because there's great commentary. And if you guys are watching this, at least half of the quality of any show I put out is the live chat because these folks are amazing. I kind of want to play with that sword. Anyway, they're amazing. But Blade Thesis says, one of the many reasons I don't like a gentleman by the name of Scott Rodell. From every interview I've ever heard or read from him, he believes his system is the only way to do Jinshu. I am a fundamentalist. Now, hold on. I didn't put anything before that, so don't go jumping on me. What I mean is understand the fundamentals of any given thing, and you're going to find the truth. But, guys, you can't, your one way won't be the only way. Now, that's why I say I teach 60 to 80% of all the other styles, and then I pay attention. And what I do then is for the other 40 to 20% of your education, I start to tailor it to your body type, your health, your mentality, and I try to find a system that works. And what works for one person will not at peak work for someone else, okay? Because we are not automatons. We are not mass produced. So while the basic rules are the same, and I am big on the basics, everybody learns the basics. Even if you've done different arts, I respect that you know different arts, but we're going to all work on these basics as a physical Rosetta Stone so that from a mutual understanding of the simple sword as a style, we can then take, like, I have a video that has been, a message has been retracted. Okay. Excuse me. I can take and compare other styles from it. I've been asked to do a video on Bagua versus Destreza and how they overlap. Means I have to do a bit more research to get comfortable. Because I take what I need and I leave it behind. That doesn't mean I haven't read it, but my retention's going to be varying. So I need to go back and look over it. And from there, people learn differently. So the way I teach the basics to somebody like Foxy are going to be radically different than the way I would teach the basics to somebody like, well, what I worked with Steve. And that's what you end up, see, Dark Moon's got it. I think mastering the basics of multiple systems around the same time and period of sort is a decent route. For me, it's Marzano, Marcelino, and Delagocci, and a bit of Meyer. And see, if anyone looked heavily into my style, you will see an assortment of Jin in some of my movements when I really get going. I get very Tai Chi, I get very Jin and that opens up a whole nother side. Obviously Gigante, because Gigante is very comfortable for people of my height and my mobility. There are a few things that have infected me. Iaido has infected me. I did a bit of that. I did a little bit of studying, like reading through and studying Kenjutsu and Aiajutsu. Not Aiajutsu. Anyway, my enunciation's going out the window. But I've looked into that. I have picked up pieces of Meyer. I picked up some Saber. I picked up, and it all just sort of flows with how I'm feeling at the moment. And if I'm being good and not just matching the style I'm fighting, which is a bad habit of mine. Very often I will just default to being a combat chameleon and fight somebody the way they fight me, which is a bad thing to do. But I find myself doing it at practices a lot. I'm going to have to do something else with this. I have to figure some kind of modification for this rig because that is absolute shite. The sheath, because I was all happy, a nice cross draw sheath that can be delightful. And I mean, see, I can pull that. I can pull that sheath. I can flow through with it. This is going to go. But yeah, I don't like the way the strap hangs. It's begging to get cut. And so I can see some problems with the sheath. The weapon is delightful, though. It's absolutely delightful. And I can flow through. Now that's pure Jin. It's real funny. I'll give you a terrible secret. This is a Dao. This fights like a Dao. It flows like a Dao. I can make this go like a Dao. But the cousin of Karma Chameleon, absolutely. Now that song is stuck in my head. Thank you very much. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good at all. My backup for making duplicates of my axe broke. Let's see. I'll have to glue that back up. But okay, so let's get in. I got a little derailed, and that's okay. I want to talk before I go any further. Dark Moon Miracle, aka Elric of Melbourne, on the public Facebook group, shared that he had modified the design I did for the Italian tactical trainer through Purple Heart Armory, and he is making a custom one. And I am very, very, very delighted. I am very, very delighted to see that he's doing that and that people are working to make more custom weapons. I can't wait to see how that comes out. And as PHA expands, I tell you what, if they can get to making a cup hilt, I'm going to have to throw money at them. They're also they're working on a expansion of of bringing back those Pro Force gaunts. They're like still sitting at $500, but everybody needs something truly excessive, and those fingered plastic gaunts are gorgeous. At some point, I am going to find a way to get down to Texas for 3 things. Okay, hey, cool, I got all of them to work. Visiting a friend, obviously. Purple Heart Armory, because I'd love to do a tour, and Reaper Miniatures. I would love to go down. They have a giant life-size Sophie that's sort of bucket list to get a picture with. But Dark Moon's working on commissioning a weapon that's scaled to fit him, and I find that delightful. So I'm really proud of you. Please keep us involved. And oh yeah, I guess Texas Ren Fair. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, I probably would have to, wouldn't I? So yes, Texas is something I intend to go to at some point as health and watching the assorted disasters work. Yes, I know I must meet the peoples. There are always peoples I need to meet. I also have there's a whole bunch of folks in the Florida region I have to go see at some point. Because at some point I want to meet my gamers from Red Valkyrie Presents. But oh, sir, it is my absolute pleasure. There is nothing I like more than to see people are working and improving themselves to get better, because what I do isn't about me. If you ask me what I am in life, I am a footstool. And that's all I really seek. I want to put my hand out and help people get to a higher level. That's it. I appreciate the offer, Luke. I am a devout teetotaler. I do not drink alcohol. I don't judge anybody who does. I just come from a family that has a tremendous allergy to alcohol. It makes us break out in handcuffs. And I actually took a vow of sobriety many years ago. And as I have not imbibed, I don't intend to. So like I said, no judgment. Y'all have fun. But that's a line I cannot budge on. See my lawful good, holy crud, he is a paladin alignment test I took a while ago, because that's long standing. But that being said, you have one for me and have a good time, because anybody who can have fun with it, I want to have fun with it. As long as you are mature and controlled and you don't have a problem, cool. But yeah, I'm all about folks bettering themselves. Now, why getting a little back to what I was talking about before I kind of got on a good lord, Chad. Let's launch. May the road rise up to meet your feet and rise up to meet the face of your foes. Now, going back to pre-Shad, like I said, Netflix is doing, I believe it's Netflix, is doing a they never are. We're all our characters in one bit or another, aren't we, Johnny? Anyway, but Netflix is doing this Circle of Time, Wheel of Time series. I have it on good information that Mercedes Lackey's Heralds of Valdemar is going to be getting a movie. The Dungeons and Dragons movie is coming out. Oh, is it Amazon Prime? You're right, it is. I'm sorry, there are a few more, but yeah, Heralds of Valdemar is on Netflix. Wheel of Time is going to be on Amazon Prime, which I have. I love Amazon Prime. And hi, Cindy. Cindy has something coming in the mail, possibly as early as today, probably later. But love you, Cindy. Cindy Kep at www.ckoepp.com. She is an author. She is an artist, and she's one of my she does crochet amazing. She is one of my patrons and just an amazing person. And she's out there doing what she does, and I just thank her. Like, for the people, if I put like this, to my Twitter folks, she's a lot like Frog G. She's there for everybody. And Frog G is a lot like the Cindy Kemp of that universe. You two should both have an idea of how awesome a compliment that is. Oh, it's a TV series and they're doing Vanya. Yes. Foxy. Oh, Frog G, you're amazing. Foxy. When I was holding practices, it was discovered at my practical. I hold a training for people who lack the background on improvised weaponry, and they all spun on me, and at once unchoreographed went some variant of "Holy shit, our sword masters Albrecht of Kars." That is one of the highest compliments I've ever gotten, and it's one I try to live up to, because I do believe the more you sweat in training, the less you'll bleed in combat. And even though what we do is for fun and I'm very safety oriented, I also very much believe in avoiding training scars. So if I'm going to teach you a technique, yes, yes. If I'm going to teach you a technique that you use reflexively in fencing or whatever, it will be something that you could use reflexively practically for combat, which is actually why I avoid some of the masters, because several of the masters are from the approach of fighting in tournament. It's one-on-one, the art of dueling, which I love, but the logistics are very different. I fight like a melee fighter, and I train from that perspective. I train my students not only to work solo, but to work together. Oh, absolutely. Oh, God. The Heralds of Valdemar have so many book series, but you are going to love the Exiles Honor, Exiles Valor. Um, you're going to love someone named Carowin. If you're going to love, I loved Owlflight. Um, I love it enough that I have at points owned the soundtrack. Yes, there's a soundtrack to that book. It was put out by Firebird Music, primarily featuring a man named Michael Longcore, aka Duke Moonwolf, Duke Sir Master Moonwolf Starkhansen. I I used his full SCA title out of a tremendous amount of respect. Plus, it has magic talking horses that are way too into everybody's business. And who doesn't love magic talking horses that are way too into everybody's business? I love magic talking horses that are way too into everybody's business. Anyhow, they are. They really are. A lot of the good books are getting hard. And that brings me up to something else before we hit the top of the hour ad, where I plug my stuff shamelessly for a minute. Hashtags, hashtag shameless self promotion. Hashtag always promote. Hashtag bring cookie home because I love you, Brian K. Morris, wherever you are tonight. But and thank you guys. If you're watching this and you haven't hit the like button, I am trying to fight the YouTube algorithm dragon, and folks, I'm losing. But that's okay. I'll hold the line a little while longer while I can. But that being said, I completely lost my track for a moment. Thesis. Wow, that was my mind wiping. Top of the hour. It was a little short comment. Oh, it'll come back later. Magic talking horses. Uh, say nay. Oh, the holiday. No, before that. Those of you who don't know it, I practice and I have started several years ago a small little holiday called Leafy Mass. Leafy Mass is the celebration of the incoming reading season, where it starts to get. I'm from up northmost Indiana, and it got cold and it got snowy. We were of the snowsuits to trick or treat crowd. Thank you, and thank you for the punching. Thank you for punching it, guys. But Leafy Mass is the celebration of reading for cheap and poor people, wherein friends exchange PDF ebooks of things they have lying around on their hard drives. So, leading up to every October, I read a book. This book is called A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. It is one of my favorite books of all time. And oh, you have a good one, Frog G. Love you, man. And it has a chapter every day for the entire month of October. It chronicles the end of the world through the perspective of Jack the Ripper's dog, Snuff. So, Cindy Kep, if you are still listening and you haven't read that book, let me see if I can find it. It's basically out of print, or it was, so it's hard to get. But we'll talk. An amazing novel, a lot of fun, something Brian K. Morris would totally approve of. And we read it chapter by chapter, alternating chapters, my wife and I, out loud through the month of October. It is a family tradition. And after we're done with that, we dig into our store of Leafy Moss ebooks to get through the long, dark tea time of the whole. The tea time of the soul. Wow. Okay. What's it called? The book? If you dig around, you can find PDFs of it. It had the best versions have the art that was included by Gohan Wilson. Oh my god, it's creepy and delightful. Let me see. So absolutely read it. I'm setting up something for a few people along that line. But so you know what? If you guys have a book, maybe an older book of your own, throw it in an email and send it to a friend. You don't have to paper it. This isn't meant to be a marketing thing. But share it. Share. You have a book that you know laying around. Share it to a friend. Okay. And yes, always finish your books. No, thesis. If you've written a fanfic, one, complete it. There's a AO3, which is a blank of our own, and I can't remember what it is. I can't remember the first O. But they publish, they put fanfics out for people to read. But many times, if you write a really good fanfic and you look at it, you may realize that you can pull the copyright information, put new characters of your own design back in, and have a phenomenal story. So finish it. You look. Do you know what's wrong with this piece of paper as a story? Why this doesn't work as a story is you can't edit a blank piece of paper. I could write the dumbest story in the world, okay, or the best, whatever, on this 4x6 sheet. I could write a whole story right here, right? And if I don't save it, if I don't finish it, I can't edit it. I can't expand or mutate it. Writing is creative and destructive and then reformatory. You sculpt your writing after you're done with it. Don't be afraid to rip off pieces and delete and stuff. It's a living process. Now, we're at the top of the hour. Huge shout out to my Patreon patrons. Guys, I can't keep doing this without you. I was requested to review a sword like machete. That's why I bought this. I will do a review. I may even do cut tests of some sort. I've never done them on this channel. I may cut something with this. We're coming up on the pumpkin invasion. Pumpkins might die, but we'll have to see. This is a very nice little thing. Okay. I got to stop right there. Thesis. I came up with the idea Jack the Ripper stopped King because he found out he was immortal and went out taking heads. Good. Story ends up with him running into, now just stop before you hit McCloud, someone, and then leave it hanging. Leave it hanging. If you pick, he could run into the Count of Monte Cristo. Find if you're going to include somebody, instead of McCloud, pick someone who is public domain. If you really need it to be an authoritative character, have him run into Dracula. Have him run into Frankenstein's monster. That is a great story, and people love Jack the Ripper. So run with it. See, Thesis now has Exile's Honor on his desk. That's a rough place to start because they focus on my all-time favorite character in that universe being Albrecht. But yes, you might want to look up the ones before it, and I'm trying to think. Arrows to the Queen, I believe, has it. Carowin's Ride and the Carowin books lead into it. You know what? Go to Mercedes Lackey's site and look it up. The other thing is look up Mercedes Lackey's Serrated Edge. There was a mention at one point of Thesis, the Dresden Files. If you like urban fantasy, the Serrated Edge books are phenomenal. I also recommend the Spear Wielder series. I can't remember if it's called series or saga, but it's about the Spear Wielder. And it is a urban sort of isekai, looking back, series by this little guy who went on to get famous. His name is R.A. Salvatore. Neat book series. Before his world became Dresden Forgotten Realms, he wrote those, and I really encourage it. Now, what I'm working on as my unit thing, as winter winds up, and it's a great series. Oh, cool. Okay, if you're not a fan of Lackey's writing style, she's a little lighter and a little she's fast. If you like a slightly more dry, more Tolkien-esque, there are other directions we can lead you. But you also, like I said, a lot of times you may like authors' older writing style that before they matured into their current. And yeah, Nick, this is a sword fighting test. Why are we talking about fantasy authors? Because almost all of us get our start in the lust and love of swords and swordmanship, wanting to be somebody. Is it Fane Finn from the Penhaligon trilogy that I only got the first book of? Oh God, great book. That's one of the first fantasy books I ever read. My man Artemis in Theory. Yes. Drizzt is great. And I love the Dark Elf trilogy. But Drizzt is great. But my man Artemis, I resonated with more. I resonated more with Jaraxel. This should surprise no one. Well, my lawful gets awful interesting because I see Artemis as lawful evil. Okay. Ooh, this is awesome. And guys, if you like authors and you have media, look them up and promote them. As an author, we need all the help we can get because if the tragedy of being an author is if you're a poor author, you're your own publicist, which means if you if I'm promoting, I'm not writing. I'm not editing. I'm having to promote. So it's a balance. The more you guys promote and help me put the books out, the more I can knuckle down and go like, okay, I guess I can finish the Poor Sword Master's Guide to Arms and Armor, so I can get into the Simple Spear. That name sounds familiar, Christopher Steshef. That's not the guy who wrote the Chris Dimension books, is it? Rick Hines, absolutely. Margaret Weiss and Tracy. Not Wellerman. Anyway, I'm horrible with names, but they're great. There is some rumblings that there will be a new. Oh, okay, cool. What is going on? My phone was like vibrating and making noises I've never seen before, so I have to multi-class just a bit here. But I want to go because Hickman, thank you. See, Cindy, when my beloved wife isn't here, I swear Cindy functions as the translator for Nikki's around here because sometimes I have so many thoughts they collide in my mouth. But why is this? Oh, I know why. Yes. There was something I want to check the deal of the day. Oh, yes. If you are somebody who's running the Rolling Synthetic Sabers, Rolling Synthetic Swords, you could get a lot of different pommels and cross guards on sale through PHA right now. And he also has this really nifty water bottle with a bunny on it that's $1.50. Now, this isn't me trying to spend your money, but that supports a company who's doing a lot for what we do, even if it's cheap. And I will definitely look that up. You know what, Foxy, send me on Facebook the link or the name so I can look it up. Because, like I said, when I get rolling, it's a little hard. Let's talk a bit. I have some. I don't know. Did you guys? No, Steve. I don't spend your money. I help you spend your money. And I give cheap options. I'm good at finding inexpensive things for you to spend your money on relative to us mere mortals scraping by. But I think we're going to find that we can keep doing things if we all work together and we support local things. Now, things are going to get interesting. Excuse me. Oh, absolutely. Three Musketeers, Count of Monte Cristo. Oh God, those fights. Zorro. The Zorro movies from the old black and white serials on will always hit me right here. And then, of course, our boys, TMNT. Although, yeah, I shockingly I got cast as Splinter very early on, and I accepted, especially in the 2012 one where he's like the tall, slender Japanese man Splinter. I dig it. Thank you for that link, Foxy. I assume that's what just came up. But pay attention to Purple Heart Armory because Purple Heart Armory has a real opportunity, and I hope they follow through with it. Brexit has hit English companies hard. That means South Coast Swords through Black Fencer. Shipping has become a nightmare. The costs are way up. And as much as I want to support them, I don't have a Union Jack on my wall, folks. I have an American flag. So I salute American business folks wherever I can. And Purple Heart Armory is one of those companies. I'm not doing it because I have an affiliate link. I'm going to tell you what, 2% is not enough to get my loyalty alone. Now, I appreciate it, and I do keep the affiliate link. So if you go there, at least so that they track. I get to see how many people have followed, and I thank you for using that link. And if you buy, theoretically, I'll get money, although I haven't yet. But I would love to see you guys keep doing that because a lot has hit Houston. It's been a rough time down there. And I don't know why I called it Houston instead of Houston, but we'll roll with it, folks. We'll roll with it. I'm getting hot in this hat. It is not working. Ew. To the door, to the window, to the wall. Oh, I'm back in gaming. Anyway, but yes, now, we Thesis says I've watched every Musketeers movie that has ever come out. I've watched a whole bunch of them in the TV series. There used to be a really neat one. I think it was on Channel 38 out of Chicago, ironically, where D'Artagnan was a woman pretending to be a man. It was my speech impediment is hitting me really hard today. I went to the doctor and I had a bunch of blood drawn, so I'm a little loopy. And that's just adding that extra spice and flavor to this broadcast. But you know what? I'm not about to stop doing what I do because I'm a little loopy. I mean, guys, come on. I think you can put up with me being less than 1000% professional. You know what? You're right. She wasn't. It's been years, but that was great. There was another one. I've seen at least one where D'Artagnan was a woman, but there was another one where she wasn't playing D'Artagnan, and you were correct. Wasn't she Michael? Didn't they have the D'Artagnan from the old? I want to say Michael York from the old English Three Musketeers. That plot has nothing to do with the book. Yeah, see, those are great. I need to see the BBC one. The BBC one I've heard about, but I have to figure out how Xander friendly it is because we kind of do the one TV thing. Because I'm not just gonna sit in here and watch a show by myself. That's just kind of antisocial. But I really. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh God, yeah. Basically I went in to get a checkup. I got hit with liquid nitrogen for a couple spots. Got a couple shots in one arm, down a pint and a half in the other. I wish they'd rotate my tires at least while they have me up on the jacks, but yeah, wait, no worries. I love funky old shows, but yeah, that's what inspires us. And to understand sword fighting, you have to understand the mechanics, in my opinion, but you also have to understand the mentality and why people are learning. I came into fencing from a very different perspective than most people. Most people come into martial arts who were of my build and background to not usually. Actually, I'm one of those people who doesn't bruise. I'm one of those. I actually have walked away from being hit by a Buick, and I didn't have a bruise. I had when I had all the ribs broken, nothing bruised. It's really weird for me to get a bruise. It's just part of the lovely genetics of whatever the heck I am. I understand it. I'm sorry. My wife's like that. If I look too hard at her arm, she'll get a bruise. Have them check your vitamin K levels. Vitamin K will help with bruising. Lines of Thank you, Cindy Kep. Cindy Kep's talking about Lines of Succession and Condemned Courier. Those are great books. I won't tell you which one, but I may have overviewed some of her fight choreography. And I will say this, and I will say this till the day that I die. Cindy Kep has one of the most organized and terrifyingly brilliant writer's minds I've ever seen. Her notes on fight choreography are superb. And I really wish, dear Disney, hi Disney, I'm talking to you again. whoever's sitting in Eisner's chair, you keep doing Star Wars, right? And we all saw that last one. Nobody wants to talk about it. But when you have to scrub out lightsabers to keep a fight safe, whew. So if you're going to keep making Star Wars movies or other things, hire Cindy Kep as a fight choreography proofreader. Just hire her to read the choreography of your fight that's planned and go, hey, that's dumb. Because she will catch it. She needs your money. And her books are phenomenal. She's one of the few people who I've seen. Oh, Lord, guys, we're walking into a pet peeve. We are walking into a pet peeve. And the reason I'm walking into this is Cindy Kep doesn't do this. And what's love. You see the heart, like both hearts that I should have as an alleged Gallifreyan. If you're going to have sword fights, that's what you want. Okay. People of different builds and different backgrounds fight differently. And I will be the first. I have trained women. I have fought with women. I fought against women. Women are totally capable of fencing, sword fighting, and anything else to do with the limitations of physics applied. Okay? Okay? You get what I'm saying here? What I mean by that is a 120-pound woman is not going to be able to administer the same force as a 250-pound man if they're of similar training and background. That's why God didn't make men equal. Colonel Colt did. That being said, thesis. I if I can find it, I'll send a picture that will give you a whole new perspective on who and what I might be. But and it's not Centaur. I'm getting close though. I hate when everybody fights the same and women are choreographed exactly the same. And I'm looking at that flying leg grab, hip toss, flip thing that Black Widow kind of perfected, and every single female has done since then. And long before, but she sort of became the pinnacle of the run up, jump, grab them with your legs, flip around, and judo. I've seen that particular choreography so many times. And it's like, if you want a smaller person, you want a little guy to win a fight against a big guy. It can be done. It could be done well. Look at some of Bruce Lee's work. Okay, you can see him in the yellow jumpsuit. He had to wall walk up that dude to get the hits because he's Bruce Lee. The solution is either show superior training or cheat. Because I'm going to tell you something about small fighters. Real world small fighters who have endured or survived the abuse of larger people are going to cheat. There's none of this Marcus of Queensbury rules. No. You're going to have eye gouges, dirt throwing, knife shanking, underhanded. Never be afraid to have a small person dirty fight because we learn we have to quit. And when people come from a different background, they're going to fight differently. You take the big black guy, okay? And he likes boxing. Yeah, okay, he's a boxer. What? Who's his favorite boxer? Because are you going to go George Foreman or are you going to go Muhammad Ali? It's two very different styles. Absolutely. Oh, preach to the choir, Steve. But in real combat, thou shalt cheat. Cane to the shins. I will shoot you in the pinky toe. But understanding that guy is a sorry thesis. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I don't know what you're talking about at all. Anyhow, moving on. If friends and foes. Yes, if you're in a fair fight, you're wrong. You know, tournament fighting is one thing. Sparring is one thing. If it goes, it goes. I can have multi classes. You know, I don't have to be just one beastie. I can have more than one form. I'm not just a boring binary werewolf where I'm either roar or do 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 do. You know what I mean? Not guys. And 3 cheers for the terminally furry. I love my lycanthropic friends. Don't think I'm bashing you. Poking loving fun, yes. By poke loving fun, at everybody. That being said, you ever see that? Now you see how a guy who learned to fight in Nebraska and used to, spend his summers throwing hay bales and stuff is a different style. You take the shoot in wrestler guy, they're gonna fight different. Your Aikido guy's gonna fight different. Get some surprises, but different fighters fight differently, and I hate bad choreography. Like now. Of course, there are no lycanthropes in my group, Steve. There are none. No one. I would never out or imply that any of my friends turn into slavering beasts at the full moon. Please ignore the wolfsbane at my door. Now, that being said, they fight differently. Okay? Now, have you ever seen a movie where everybody fights the same? It's like, and that's across for all types of combat. Gunfighting, sword fighting, open hand fighting, improvisational brawling, whatever. Things that annoy me. Anyway, things that annoy me are when, like, you ever see the extras in a cop show where they've played the cops too many times or the troopers, and they're supposed to be gangbangers, but they're clearing rooms in quarter pies? You know what I'm saying? No. Ooh, Cindy Kemp's got a whole lycanthrope anthology? Ooh. I have to tweak a story I might put in for something like, I will not comment on that thesis. I see the humor, but I will not comment on it because no. That being said, if you're gonna fight and have people from different geography, different weapons, have them fight differently. Yes, it's a pain in the butt. Yes, it's complicated. But have them fight differently. Because by writing people to fight differently, you get a more authentic experience. It's much more intriguing to watch. And a fight is dialogue. Okay? If I have a conversation with somebody, well, this is how it is. I am going to do blink blink. I am going to do this, and we have no choice. This is dull. Guess what? Arm block, punch. Arm block, punch. It's dull. Have you ever seen a badly done Superman fight? Big guy, arm block, punch. The most exciting thing is he's going to bump. Mix it up. Now, Cindy Kemp says, I used Distressa for one group, Degrassi for another group, and made up Goofy Theater for another. Okay, I have different modes of fighting. I try. Yay, haymakers. But, what I want to talk about, before I get into that, I want to talk about good barehanded fight choreography. It wasn't great, okay? It was TV grade fight choreography, but it bears discussion. One of my favorite sci-fis of all time is Babylon 5. Now, it gets bad when whole worlds get washed with these are their traits and move on, but that's a trope. We'll let it go. That being said, the Earthers fought very straight. Most of the fighters were military, so anytime there was a brawl, it was very straight up good. I hate to say it, American good guy fighting styles. And the Centauri fought very Taekwondo, very up in the air, flying kick stuff. The Narn fought a modified mantis style, very low, and by doing that, it gave personality to the fighters. So different styles for the culture. Was it diverse? But was it better than the everybody fights the same? Bam, 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 bam. And I think we're finding that it stands out more because we live in the era of the binge watching. I can tolerate a bad fight scene or repetitive fight choreography if you're watching a show and you're waiting a week or two. But it's like I'm watching because it's mind comforting. It's not quite smart enough to be smart, not quite dumb enough. The MacGyver reboot. It's a fun program. But the fight choreography and the storytelling of the fight, the way they get, I'm not getting that stuck in my head thesis. You know what? You're right. It was a little bit frightening. But ow. Ow, ow, ow! But, folks, you watch it, you binge watch it, and you realize the fights are all the same. To the point, okay, he's going to get out by a headbutt, elbow, half thing, maybe do a shoulder toss. Every time. So, writers, spice it up. Don't be afraid to let your good guy get some hits. You're see, you guys haven't lived until you've watched my buddy Steve Clausen watch Burn Notice. Have you ever watched a program with somebody who really knows what about the subject? To a point. You know what? That is true. That is, Cindy makes a valid point. To a point, though, many people fall into specific tricks that they use in fighting, and that makes sense for your hero. Okay, it makes sense for your hero to fight the same way. That actually can build character, and for a while they tried to do that a little bit in like Jack Dalton fought hand to hand very different than MacGyver did, and he should have. A Delta Force guy versus MacGyver, who was an EOD tech. These are different fighting approaches, even similar background. And it can be very, in the words of Elliot Spencer, it's a very distinctive fighting style. But oh, I'm sorry. Thesis, what show are you talking about? Just because I'm curious, it might be on IMDb or Peacock. There are a couple free channels that you can still find stuff sometimes. That being said, the fighting is how you're going to express. So as authors, we need to not just be able to go, okay, a great sword operates like this. We need to understand that somebody who's more trained in Meyer is more likely to wield a great sword, a two-handed sword, and somebody who has more of an Eastern katana background is more likely to use the cutting strike kind of thing. And then looking at how a Dao is fought versus a katana, even though they look very similar. That's the thing. But my problem is when the bad guys are all different, but the bad guys all fight the same. And yeah, you have fun. The universe balances out how bad I am at Call of Duty. I am abhorrent at Call of Duty. Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that. That looks like a fun one. But and Steve laughs hysterically. He loves because I lose my cool, controlled demeanor that you see here is shattered into occasional bouts of insane rage and oaths that would make Ragnar the dwarf blush. Yes. But I am offset that by watching the rage on that man's face when we watch any show involving spooks or operatives, because it hurts his soul. I know several people who can't watch Burn Notice because no, that's not how it goes. And MacGyver has been used to do that to me, but it was upsetting my wife, so I toned it down. But yeah, it's therapeutic. You got to find something that is harmless that annoys you so that you can yell at it because you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings, so you can tolerate the things that annoy you that you have to tolerate later. Like, it's like I'm going to put down my cool for a while to just be like, if you can see the silver of my replaced teeth, I'm losing my mind. And that's catharsis. That's good for you. But so writers learn about things, learn what styles work. The other thing that's really neat that people don't understand, and Steve hinted at. Okay, this it is actually trying to cut already, the strap, because of the way the strap sits. So I can see why there are complaints about the sheath. I am caught in, there we go. I'm caught in the cord. Anyhow, as a one-handed weapon, I could actually fight this like a wakizashi. I could actually, if this weren't so pronounced, I could eat more easily get a hand and a half on this. It's very doable. That being said, it wants to flow. This makes me want to get back into looking into a screama. And somewhere Jim Robertson just sat up like, ooh, a screama? But yeah, exactly. Yes. So as a lot of us are authors on the side. We're martial artists, but we're also authors. And just like, look, I'm an artist. I draw stuff. I have to be careful about the themes because using the wrong theme, not as a matter of censorship, it's a matter of, am I willing to pay the price to, is it necessary for what I'm saying? As authors, when we're talking about sword fights or knife fights, what we say about how it goes and how we frame things can be inaccurate. It can look poorly on us. It can be, or it can elevate the material. And a properly done, if you're doing a historical, like, do it at a historical film, do it with accuracy. Likewise, and interestingly, if you're doing a fantasy film, okay, or a fantasy story, treat it for the purpose of canon like it's a history. You have to track how people move, keep track of who fights what style. Because it's going to help define the character, and if there's that character is suddenly not fighting that style, you're going that could mean something's changed with the character. It could mean something's gone wrong. It could cause confusion to the reader, the viewer. That's where this is all coming together. Okay, like what you want is that consistency. Weapons are an extension of the character, and a fighting style is an extension of the character's mentality. Going to the Dark Elf trilogy, if Drizzt Do'Urden suddenly is fighting with a greatsword, something is really freaking hinky. When you have Wolfgar running around with a shiv, something is wrong. This must be the only weapon available, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to say things. Firearms are even more like that, because as in American culture, firearms are very much like the swords of old, in that the type of firearm tells you a lot about the character. So you take something like Monster Hunter International, where, somebody from the government agency is going to have a very regimented, very black gun. Oh, look, he's got a Colt M4 and a Glock at his side. Captain Generic has walked into the field on tactical gear. Meanwhile, somebody like Sam Haven's walking around with a lever action 357 and a matching revolver. Like, what? But he's also got a big, Yosemite Sam mustache rocket and a rodeo belt. That tells you about these two characters as concepts. Swords are like that. And I'm using these as parallels to help people make connections. When you're writing about the weapons of an assassin, the weapons of an assassin are going to be concealable. They're going to be efficient, not showy. Because most of the assassin's hits are best delivered unseen. So it's going, like, think about that wrist blade. Think about how shady but iconic the Assassin's Creed wrist blade is. It's telling of the character. It requires you, that means to use it, you'd have to have the stealth to get in close, to deploy it, and theoretically get out. Good assassins don't get caught on the exfil. No, you can have assassins with long swords or great swords, but they're going to be the much more overt assassins. That tells you that they aren't stealthy. Many times, that's a lot of times the weapon is going to determine, in my mind, the difference between someone who is a hired killer and an assassin. Exactly, the world's best known spy. I love James Bond. He's an assassin. James Bond is a very well-known hitman. He's not a spy because everybody detects, oh yes, it's Mr. Bond. He's not coming in looking like Joe Schmo, and secretly, they see him, they notice him. No, you don't want that. But that's a character defining trait. Now, and again, I have no issue with great swords. They're a neat style. A lot of people enjoy them, especially people of a certain size. But they are weapons of war. They aren't necessarily meant for solo use, and people get that confused. And they are meant to work with interaction. It's like, I have a cold steel longsword trainer. As a joke, I showed my sister-in-law how ridiculous it looks. Exactly. Like, now, there is exception if everyone around you is carrying a longsword, or a great sword, then it doesn't stand out. You know what? I got time. You know how Ninja dressed when they were on assassinations? Think Ninja. Okay, I want everybody to stop for a moment, close your eyes, and you hear the word ninja. Ninja. And what do you see? I'll tell you what you see. You see a guy in a eye open, face covering black mask, wearing a black bodysuit, like the tabby socks, tabby boots with the little toe action, carrying a straight, short to medium sword and throwing stars and stuff. I mean, that's great if you're doing a very specific midnight, infiltration. That isn't them being a ninja. That's them being a period tac squad. They are infiltrating. They're doing a night op. Most of the time, ninja dressed like the people around the people they were either spying on, stealing from, or assassinating. They dressed to blend in. Oh, oh. Yeah, a longsword and a thief. Now, in game, that depends what kind of thief it is. If it's a dungeoneer kind, you can almost get away with it, but it doesn't make sense. But yeah, try sneaking around. Try it. If you want to do something, and that's one thing, you want to write your authors, pick up a training sword, right? I mean, I don't know why I have this knife at all. But I'm sorry, pick up a training sword and simply work through, does it work? You can test choreography, especially if you know someone who can help. Oh, sorry, just 1 second. But I have to pause now because Cindy Kemp, someone I love dearly, just mentioned Lee Van Cleef. And now I am in the middle mentally of For a Few Dollars More. Part of the Man with No Name, the trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now, where he's unrolled that, he's got his pistol and he's the big old butt line, put the little stock on there. Oh no, you can't do that now. It's an SBR. Good God, it's connected to stock. It's I love it. Definitely test both sides to avoid. Yes. Sidney says test both sides of the fight to avoid stupid human tricks with a sword or handedness issues or human origami. Yes. One, because sometimes you're writing and it sounds fine and you're like, wait, if he's got his sword and it's blocking up here and he's stopping the strike, how is he stabbing? And you know what you can do there? All you have to do for that is go back a few chapters and mention that he keeps a small dagger on his belt, and now the attack makes sense. That sort of continuity issue. And it makes sense for you. Oh, I'm about to request the most dangerous thing a person can do. Think critically. I love movies. Watch a movie, enjoy a movie. But if you want to fight, you really find yourself liking a fight, watch the fight and ask why. Watch the fight choreography. Does it make sense? There on the Historical Fencing Guild public group, I don't know if I'm the one who found it or it was sent to me. I get a lot of stuff. But there's a lovely short sparring match of lightsabers, and it's pretty, and they're swirling around and they're singing. There's a background song that doesn't make sense until the guy goes for a big spin, jump spin, and the sword blade is just right there and it freezes. Oh no. If you are writing a character and you're keep them in, if they are flamboyant sword dancery bard types where there's a performance in there, cool, but make sure that it doesn't leave them open. You want your fights to make sense. Now, you also don't want, as she said, don't have your fights not work. Pace through. And sometimes if you don't know how to write a fight, you're not sure, video yourself fighting as close to the style you want one character to fight against a friend, however they're fighting, and see if you can't use that as 2 points to write up the fight. Artists sketch all the time, right? Like, before I do a picture, I do rough sketches, I place things out. You can do that with a fight. Now, you don't have to know the style yet to get there. It helps to know the style. And for people who are vocabulary minded, you can, I'm going, the counter to this is that. The counter to this is that. I don't think in those terms as much as I think in Foxy has someone with a flaming hula hoop. That's awesome. Dangerous, but who doesn't like dangerous things? So yeah, we're having a neat conversation. This is a good conversation night. I want to pause before we get towards the end of the video to talk about the fact that apparently I'll be shooting a video with this as soon as I figure out some way to get the alleged shoulder strap on this, because I like the shape of the sheath. It has potential. It's just odd. And this is a nice knife. I don't know if I'd want to dual wield these or not. I really see this being a light machete to pair with a tomahawk. Because, let's be honest, we know what I'm about. That makes sense, too. Moving your flaming hula hoop away from cars full of explosive gas is probably a good idea. I mean, I don't judge, but wow. Now, a bit of update. I will be doing some kind of more formalized video with this guy. I will, if you think alcohol is involved, you see anybody who looks like they're drunk while that's going on, just drop a dime on her, because she's a danger to herself and others. I used to Nickism that's fairly old. Notify the authorities. If they're being unsafe, just do it, because a wildfire messes everybody up. Okay. That all being said, coming up, I have a top 3 offhand weapon trainers that I use video. This will not be new content to you per se, although me discussing it in a fairly fun way is. I'm testing to see if it helps the algorithm, because I've heard that using the term top 3 will boost YouTube sharing things around, and I could use the views. I'll be doing that. There's going to be, because I did mention boffers. I need to know what kind of trainers you guys want to see. I'll put up a comment for the Patreon members in Patreon. Actually, I'm going to pull my little card out, because I try to keep a card of things I need to remember. But what boffers do you want to see me either make or discuss? Because I can make a lot. And we'll get a comment going on the Patreon group list, so that I can be sure to give you content you want. We should. I'm not sure if we will be able to schedule in another big group practice this month, in part because of the pandemic and in part because of I have some logistical issues that need to be addressed. Ooh, Ooh, that's a neat one. Top 3 historically I assume accurate thesis and battle ready swords. That sounds interesting. I may play with that concept a bit. Boffer shields. Now that is a whole conversation. And ironically, dealing with the fact that I may be getting some stuff from my storage unit, I may be better equipped to talk about making training shields, if that's something folks are interested in. I still have to set up the higher tiers, but that is a work in progress too. Basically, we're at that point where once I can get a couple things, excuse me, once I can get a couple things done, we can really build up and do some new stuff. We're finally getting past. As soon as I think it's done, we keep getting these 90, 100 degree, 115 degree days. But as soon as fall hits and it's thermally, that's a good way to put it, thermally safe for yours truly to be outside. Yes, I've actually done that. Cindy Cat, I'll do videos. Cindy, if you are looking for a very relatively inexpensive light buckler style shield, go down to a Gordon's Food Service and get yourself a stainless steel stock pot lid. Get some fuel line, cut the fuel line, put it all the way around the edges, and use adhesive and tape to secure it. And that will allow you to have a boffer shield that, a buckler that you can use that should be light and easy. You can expand on that hill to just get one cheap and easily made. Let me see. Well, Steve, you know your situation. You're always welcome, and we can set something up. Provided that you have not been compromised by demonic or undead forces or something like that, because I do have rules. So I have to have caveats on any invitation for the safety of all. Anyhow, sorry, you guys, you run around, you bump into one voodoo queen, and anyhow. So I will look into because that's a Johnny. No, look, I love you, man, but you can't eat my face and you can't come through the door. It's part of the accords. Steve, I know I'm not even going to touch it because I know too many of your exes. So this is me. These are my hands coming off. I'm at full extension for look at what this cord has done to me. So yeah, but Trelana Bachman, I might need to hire the construction, hire or acquire the construction coven to put new walls around my home and hit a ton of bricks. Anyhow, all jokes aside for just a second, guys, I know we've been all over the place today. This happens pretty much whenever I get my blood drawn. I'm extra loopy, and I appreciate you guys taking this meandering, mostly off-topic journey through Shenaniganville. New buffers will be coming soon, thanks to Cindy Kep's wonderful donation, and it's just off camera, of the box of many-colored duct tape. There also will be, I want to do some armoring soon. So I'm thinking I might just, I might just need to make some new gear for myself out of some of the stuff. And if that's something you guys want to see, I will try to at least set it up as a recorded situation. I may, if I can actually get my study reset up, be able to do something more elaborate and maybe a live stream. I'm also working on the means of Johnny, on the means of having guests so that I can do a split screen conversation with some of the folks who comment on here who might want to get in and do maybe a panel show. There is I've had a couple requests for an Ask Me Anything. So an Ask Me Anything may be in the works, where I just ask you guys, prep your questions for me and I'll walk you through it. And I won't really have anything on the docket. There are a couple training weapons that I want to acquire. I just try to stagger my purchases, especially right now because I might need to do some expenditures. But I hope you've at least been entertained by the shenanigans of tonight. I hope it's been somewhat educational. Guys, don't be afraid to write about your sword fights. If you're reading, don't be afraid to learn how. And no one, guys, look at this. This is not a judgmental face. This is a face of somebody who's seen some stuff, but not judgmental. If you ever have questions about what we're doing, hit me up at ntalkert on Twitter, the Historical Fencing Guild public group on Facebook. You guys, you can see my art at www.deviantart.com/NickT, where I've been there for 17 years now. But yeah, I want to invite everybody who's watching this on Wednesday nights from 8:30 to 12:30. I'm on a channel called Red Valkyrie Presents, and I am the GM for an ongoing game called Dice Dames and Dudes. If you get a chance, please come by because we terrorize folks like Johnny Cage, who is our resident undying vampire, and a few notables who were kind enough to show up. If you haven't hit like, please hit like. Other than that, honestly, guys, I'm fading a bit. Hey, Luke, I'm glad you're still here. Pop in, make comments. You might appear as NPCs, villains, or something twisted in the middle. Hi, Auntie Noodle. 2 more days. No, but other than that, guys, I am working on a lot of nifty stuff. It's just getting through this. This is a weird time for me every year, and it will get weird, and then it will get better. So I want to build up more videos. So at least next week around Wednesday, I should be posting the second video. Johnny, there may be new employment opportunities for you. I may be laying the groundwork for new, interesting, exciting employment opportunities for you. I hope you guys all have fun. Stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Keep your guard up. And as always, folks, support your local sword master. I love you guys. Night.